Danny Fenton is an American animated television series created by Butch Hartman for Nickelodeon, produced by Billionfold Studios. It was distributed by Nelvana, a Canadian animation company. The show is about a 14-year-old named Danny Fenton who, after an accident with an unpredictable portal between the human world and the supernatural ghost zone, becomes half ghost and frequently saves his town and the world from ghost attacks, while attempting to keep his ghost half a secret from everyone, except his best friends Tucker Foley and Samantha Manson. The series premiered on April 3, 2004 and ended on August 24, 2007. It ran for a total of 3 seasons and 53 episodes. Premise: Danny Fenton centers on the life and adventures of 14-year-old Danny Fenton, an unpopular but good-natured boy attending Casper High School in the small town of Amity Park. He lives with his eccentric ghost-hunting parents, Maddie and Jack, and an overbearing 16-year-old sister, Jazz. Upon pressure from one of his best friends, Sam, he decides to explore the ghost portal that his parents had created in a failed attempt to bridge the real world and the ghost zone. Once inside, Danny accidentally presses the on button, activating the portal, which infuses his DNA with ectoplasm, transforming him into a half-ghost boy. Danny, who calls himself Danny Fenton in ghost form, quickly develops the ability to fly and become invisible or intangible. Over time he develops much stronger abilities, such as his ghost ray, ghostly wail, telekinesis, and cryokinesis. Danny initially is frightened by his new abilities and has little control over them, but he soon learns to use them to protect his town from malevolent ghosts. After the defeat of a lunch lady ghost in the first episode, Danny turns to the life of a superhero, using his powers to rid his hometown from the various ghosts that plague it. Danny's best friends, technophile meat-loving Tucker Foley and goth-minded ultra-recyclo-vegetarian Samantha Manson, as well as his overbearing yet loving sister Jasmine Fenton, support Danny and help him with his ghost fighting. Danny's ghost self is a polarization of who he was when he entered the ghost portal. When he goes ghost, his black hair turns white, his blue eyes turn green and the white jumpsuit he was wearing during the accident is now black. If Sam had not removed the Jack Fenton logo on Danny's jumpsuit before the accident, it would be a permanent part of Danny's ghost form. In the second season, a ghost grants Sam's inadvertent wish that she and Danny had never met, and in consequence Danny loses his ghost powers. In the end Sam persuades Danny to regain his powers by reenacting the accident, this time wearing the jumpsuit with her newly designed D logo on the chest, so that it appears when he goes ghost from then on. Danny faces threats of many kinds, including vengeful ghost hunter Valerie Gray, who for a short period of time becomes his love interest, a rival half-ghost Vlad Masters Plasmius, an old friend of his father's and considered to be his true arch-rival, and even his own parents who, being ghost hunters, view Danny Fenton as a menace to society. In addition, Danny tries to keep his secret safe from his classmates, teachers, and family. Throughout it all, Danny slowly realizes his own potential and his purpose, while his worlds, both the Ghost Zone and Earth, slowly begin to accept him as their defender. Characters: Danny Fenton/Danny Fenton, the titular character of the show. Danny and his friends are the unpopular kids, having jock bullies and quaint teachers. A freshman in high school along with his friends, Danny is a clumsy 14-year-old boy who gained ghost powers from a lab accident when he stepped into his parents' ghost portal. He later chooses to use these powers to fight against malevolent ghosts, which have begun to regularly escape the mysterious ghost zone and plague his hometown of Amity Park. An ongoing arc is his constant struggle to use his powers for the benefit of others rather than abuse it for his own selfishness. Danny can be benevolent and decisive. Since he is half-ghost, Danny's struggles, hardships faced by teenagers in his world, are unusually topped with deadly villains from the ghost zone. But in the end, with the help of his friends, he determinedly acts on the right decision. His love interests include Valerie Gray, Paulina, and Samantha Manson, who eventually becomes his girlfriend. Samantha Sam Manson, Danny's female best friend, and eventually girlfriend at the end of the series, who is also responsible for the accident that gave Danny his powers. Though wealthy, She chooses to hide her family's monetary success in favor of being liked for who she is. A strident individualist, Sam is a practitioner of an overly dramatized fictional form of vegetarianism called ultra-recyclo-vegetarianism, a frequent protester for such things as animal rights, and a self-proclaimed goth. She is a crush on Danny. Tucker Foley, a light-hearted teenager obsessed with technology, getting a girlfriend, and meat, he has been Danny's best friend since forever. When not obsessing over gadgets, he obsesses over girls. Like Sam, he shares in Danny's secret and often helps battle ghosts back into the ghost zone. He generally provides comic relief. Tucker's inventions sometimes seem redundant, but ironically, they will work well in the ghost zone, or against ghosts. Tucker and Sam frequently handle the pros and cons of aiding Danny, especially when he's going ghost. Jasmine Jazz Fenton, Danny's somewhat overprotective and perhaps overly helpful older sister. A smart and highly sociable overachiever who also thinks of herself as an adult. Jazz considers her parents' obsession with ghosts a sign of needing psychological help. She eventually learns about Danny's powers, but chooses not to reveal her knowledge until he is ready to talk about them with her. Jack Fenton, Danny and Jazz's father and Maddie's husband. Jack expresses an obsession with destroying ghosts, blindly going by the belief that all ghosts are evil and must be destroyed, including Danny Phantom. He is generally incompetent in nature, but can be an effective fighter when provoked. Jack cares about his family but does not know about Danny's powers. He is almost never seen without his orange jumpsuit. Maddie Fenton is Danny and Jazz's mother, and Jack's wife. She is a gifted genius and dedicated hunter of ghosts, though she usually aims to dissect and study them rather than destroy them. She is an excellent, competent fighter, from whom Danny probably inherited his own talent for combat. Like her husband, she is rarely seen without her blue jumpsuit. Marketing, DVDs. Danny Phantom first appeared on DVD in the Nick Picks DVD sets, appearing in all 5 volumes and the Christmas special. Nickelodeon and Amazon.com later struck a deal to produce DVDs of various Nickelodeon shows. Amazon made the discs, cover art and disc art, and released Danny Phantom Season 1 and 2 on September 16. Despite its claim, each set only contained 13 episodes each. The first set including the first 13 episodes. The second set carrying on with the next 13. The third Danny Phantom DVD was released on June 9. This set contains the entirety of Season 3, rather than the previous 13 episode sets, skipping over the rest of Season 2. Later editions of the first 2 seasons contained the entire first and second seasons of Danny Phantom and was released in November 2009. Those, and all the other episodes, can be found on iTunes. Amazon has now discontinued the CreateSpace DVD releases with the announcement of Shout Factory releasing their own DVD sets. On March 22, 2011, it was announced that Shout Factory had secured the home video rights to the series from Nickelodeon. They released Season 1 in a 4-disc set on September 13, 2011. Season 2, Part 1 was released in a 2-disc set on April 3, 2012. Season 2, Part 2 was released on August 28, 2012. Video games. There have been 2 video games released for the series. Danny Phantom, The Ultimate Enemy was made to promote the then upcoming special The Ultimate Enemy with the main gameplay consisting of events from the TV movie. It is a 2D platformer and was released in September 8, 2005. Danny Phantom, Urban Jungle for both the Game Boy Advance and Nintendo DS was to promote the Danny Phantom episode Urban Jungle. It is loosely based on the episode and is strictly a shooter game. It was released September 19, 2006. Danny and other characters have also been featured in other Nickelodeon video games, Nicktoons MLB, Nicktoons, Summer Camp, Nicktoons Basketball for the PC, and Nicktoons Moving Eye Toy for the. He is a playable character in the kart racer Nicktoons Winners' Cup Racing and the latter Nicktoons Nitro developed by Raw Thrills for the arcade. Nicktoons, Freeze Frame Frenzy for the, and Nicktoons, Android Invasion. Danny plays a key role as one of the main heroes in the Nicktoons Unite series, appearing in all 4 games and their subsequent handheld counterparts. Danny Phantom has appeared in 2 mobile games, Nicktoons Mini Golf and Danny Phantom, El Secuestro de Jazz, available only in Chile. Danny also appeared in the game Nicktoons Battle for Volcano Island for the Nintendo DS and the PlayStation 2. He was one of the 7 playable characters along with Tucker and Sam. Production. Main cast: David Kaufman as Danny Fenton/Danny Phantom, Gray DeLisle as Samantha Sam Manson, star, Valerie Gray, Ricky Chan Collins as Tucker Foley, Colleen O'Shaughnessy as Jasmine Jazz Fenton, Rob Paulson as Jack Fenton, Nikolai Teknes, the Box Ghost, Kath Soucie as Maddie Fenton, the Lunch Lady Ghost, Box Lunch, Grandma Ida Manson, Martin Mull as Vladimir Vlad Masters Vlad Plasmius. Additional cast: June Angela as Principal Ishiyama and Shelley Makamoto, Will Arnett as the Ghost Writer, D. Bradley Baker as Wolf, Observant Number 1, Prince Aragon, Mikey, Gregor, William Baldwin as Johnny 13, Maria Canals Barrera as Paulina, Suzanne Blackersley as Dora Mattingly, Dave Boat as Vortex, Kimberly Brooks as Mrs. Foley, S. Scott Bullock as Dash Baxter, Klemper, Mr. Jeremy Manson, Holt Pra, David Carradine as Clockwork, Brian Cox as Pariah Dark, John Cryer as Freak Show, Michael Dorn as Fright Night, James Garrett as Nocturne, Perry Gilpin as Desiree, Mark Hamill as Undergrowth, Patricia Heaton as the Lunch Lady Ghost, Bob Jones as Frostbite, Phil Lamar as Mr. Morris Foley, Taylor Lautner as Youngblood, Peter McNichol as Sidney Poindexter, Danny Mann as Amorpho, Phil Morris as Damon Gray, Observant Number 2, Lorraine Newman as Mrs. Tetzlaff, Mrs. Pamela Manson, Darren Norris as Bullet, Matthew Street Patrick as Skulker, Ron Perlman as Mr. Lancer Datfan as Quan, China Phillips as Kitty, Kevin Michael Richardson as the Dragon Ghost, Skulker, Anna Sophia Robb as Danny Phantom, Eric Roberts as Dark Danny, James Sy as Quan, April Stewart as Pandora, Tara Strong as Ember, Penelope Spectra, Tiffany Snow, Star, Cree Summer as Valerie Gray, Krista Swan as Danny Phantom, James Arnold Taylor as Walker, Jim Ward as Bertrand. Cancellation. In August 2007, Nickelodeon announced that it has ended support for new episodes of the series. Butch Hartman has said that although no new episodes would be made, the show would still continue to be broadcast for years to come. References. External links: Danny Phantom at the Internet Movie Database, Danny Phantom at TV.com, Danny Phantom at the Big Cartoon Database, Danny Phantom Wiki, an external wiki.